Digimon Beatbreak is the newest entry into the Digimon franchise. We're going to talk about episode 1, which is now aired. Let me know your thoughts down below. Smash that like button, click subscribe, and let's talk the new Digimon series right now. Episode 1 of the newest Digimon series, Beatbreak, is now out for you guys to go and check out. And look, I grew up with Digimon, the old Digimon anime. Agumon, absolutely fantastic, man. I remember that series. Remember watching it every morning. It was spectacular. And then Frontier came out, Digimon Frontier. I remember having the actual thing that you have where you every time you walk, you have to shake it and you get your steps in and stuff. I remember all that too. Evolve your Digimon. I remember watching Frontier, loved it. I was a big Digimon fan back in the day. And then obviously I didn't really keep up with Digimon as much. It's a bit like Pokemon, didn't really keep up with it. You know, you have those early on series that you're really into, and then you kind of grow out of it. You know, life. Life starts happening. But now we're back with a new Digimon series. And I was like, you know what? I love Digimon. Why not try to get back into it? And this is a series where I was like, maybe this could be it. After watching episode 1, I'm into this Digimon series already. I really enjoyed episode 1 quite a lot. I think they did a lot of things right with how you do an episode 1 to a series. Now, they do a really good job at explaining the Digimon series here. What is going to be happening? What are the major factors? They showcase you a fight early on, which was badass. But they reintegrate you back into the Digimon world that you loved as a kid. And I think they do such a great job here at integrating you back into it that it feels like the nostalgia does come back, but then it's also feels new and refreshed at the same time. Because sometimes when you have an older series like a Digimon, like a Pokemon, like a Dragon Ball, you know, those older series, you kind of need to throw a new spin on things to keep it refreshed so that it doesn't feel repetitive and feel like the same thing over and over and over again. So I think this episode does that really, really well and hooks you in. Now, immediately the fight hooks you straight away. That fight was awesome. You know, we have this bee guy, this guy with a bee Digimon, a wasp Digimon, sorry, running away. And they're like, oh, I'm going to capture this guy. So she has this like Wolverine sort of thing that turns into like I think it's like Wolvermon or something like that. Look badass and starts fighting, but obviously ends up losing. And then this one guy turns up in like the most aura way you could do. Bro, the villain is like saying things like, just accept your fate. This is what's about to happen. And then out of nowhere, this voice says, yeah, you're about to, you know, take your words as well and learn to live with those words that you just said. And bro turns up with his Digimon, which looked awesome with his sword. It was like a wolf with a sword, and just destroys him. And just like pure aura. And he's like sitting there and he's like, I don't want to go anywhere but there. And he's like, well, you got to live by your words. And I was just like, bro, he's aura farming already? We're like, like not even 10 minutes in and we got an aura farm already, which I'm excited to see where that goes. But then we get introduced to our main character, Tomoro. Now, Tomoro is our main character, and there's something special about him and his e-pulse. There's something regarding him that is very special. You know, typical sort of storytelling that we know about. You know, someone has this special ability, everyone wants it, he becomes the main character. That's very similar with what's happening here with Tomoro. Now, Tomoro is going to school. He meets this girl whose little squishy thing that she has isn't working properly. It's not charged, and he accidentally catches it and he affects it in a way where she has no money and all her orders and grades and everything is all messed up. But what happens is he really likes to play drums. That's really what he wants to do. But he has an older brother who is off at work and comes back here and there. And then he finds out that this girl had been taken. She had been taken because he touched her thing. And now all of a sudden, they're like, the brother's like, now they might have a scent onto you. They might be able to trace you. Like, just stay here. I'm going to go out here. We'll deal with it in a second. And then this is where he gets introduced to his Digimon, Gekkomon, who I'm already loving Gekkomon, man. I'm a huge Trico fan from Pokemon. So Gekkomon reminded me of Trico, except Gekkomon just is so much fun already. Like, watching this freaking Digimon jump around. I think the design is great. I really, really like the design. You know, it's this clever design of badassery, but also fun. I want a Gekkomon. I really want him. I would love to have him on my shoulder right now, just doing crazy stuff. But I'm really excited to see how they're going to build this relationship with them because, you know, Gekkomon wants the E-Pulse because the more E-Pulse they get, the more they can transform, the more stronger they get and everything. So what happens is Gekkomon's like, I know where she is, come follow me. And so he goes and follows him. And then this is where he gets involved with these other like hyena sort of like looking Digimon that are coming after his E-Pulse. And they want his E-Pulse. Gekkomon's there trying to help him, beating up these things. But also his brother shows up. And his brother sacrifices himself for him. And obviously, this isn't anything new in storytelling. This is a very frequent story that we've seen before. But he also then tells him to believe in his beat, which is the whole thing with the drums and everything, and the title of Beatbreak and everything. Tells him to believe in it, and that this is what's going to happen. Like, these are Digimon. And this is where Gekkomon turns up, swallows him, and says, look, you're in my stomach. I need you to give me your E-Pulse. If you give me some of your E-Pulse, I can take these down. And this is where that relationship starts to grow. The bond begins, and Gekkomon turns up and just bodies these guys. And it's really, really awesome. And then you get that moment where they're sitting there, they're standing there, and it was freaking awesome. Beautiful. The animation is stunning. I really am floored by how beautifully animated this is. I really like the style. The colors, though. The art direction and the colorization of the scenes and the characters and the Digimon, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous, man. I would love to see this on IMAX because it's stunning. I feel like animation is getting better and better every single year. There's like, obviously we have our top tiers like Demon Slayer. We have like the Lord of Mysteries. We have the Fate series. We have all these series where all the money is in and they are beautifully animated. But I'm starting to see animes like this, like the one I just did as well of Tojima. They're getting better. These smaller ones like this are getting better animated. And it's getting even cooler. And I really, really love that. And I thought the fights were fantastic. Like I said, the art direction is great. And the score was phenomenal. I had a lot of fun with this. I'm invested now. I'm invested. I think they did enough world building in this first episode to keep you guessing. Okay, so we're in the Digimon world. Like, what is that? You know, they pose an episode's one. The job of episode one, what it's meant to do is to get you invested in the world, to get you invested in the characters, to introduce you to all that stuff. But it's also to give you questions, like what is so special about our main character? What is so special about his E-Pulse? You know, how do these Digimon come into the real world? Like, it gives you all these questions. Like, that is what episode one's supposed to do, so that when you go on this journey with them, you start answering the questions every episode. And I think episode one does enough to give you that and make you go, you know what? I need to know more. So I had a lot of fun with it. I'm excited to see where this goes. And maybe this might reignite the fire that I love when I love Digimon again. And I might be like, you know what? I want to go back and watch the older ones again. Because I've always loved Digimon. I've always had Digimon toys and stuff like that. Loved it. So let me know what you guys think of the first episode. Did you guys enjoy it? Did you not? Smash it down in the comment section below. Smash that like button. Click subscribe. And I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe and peace out.